and then just throw it in his face like, and walk away. After he picks his jaw up and reconnects it to his skull, that's another way his desire is going to, for you. What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz, the man, and I am back at you with another video. And right now, I can tell you that I am allergy free. I want to thank y'all for all of your healthy suggestions, all of your holistic methods, all of your magic tricks, sorcery and witchcrafts, all of that. No judgment, all of that. I thank you so much. And now I can clearly talk about understanding the mind of a good man. And in this video, I will be talking about the ways that you, ladies, can keep the fire going, keep a good man's desire throughout time. As I always say, don't forget to subscribe. That is very important, so you can always catch my new videos. Don't forget to like, comment, create conversation, all of that good stuff. And if you want to just binge watch all of my Understanding the Mind of a Good Man playlists, here's a playlist. You'll find it. Let's get to it. My number one method to keeping a good man's desire is to, quote unquote, be a book, not a manual. Sealz starting off with his Sealzisms, but these are crucial to know. So let's just start out talking about the difference between reading a book and reading a manual. These are things you already know, of course, but just for the purpose of me demonstrating this point to you. You see, when you're reading a book, when you're narrating a book, you're narrating a story. A story the reader, the audience, and in this case, the man has no knowledge of this story's trajectory. The reader of the story, the man, has no idea how this story is going to go. But the more he reads, the more clear the synopsis gets. And then he starts to get a better understanding of how this story is going to go. And then he starts to get a better vision of how this book is going to go. But it's still not guaranteed that his prediction will come about. You see, this, books, stories, represents mysteriousness. Now, onto a manual. Reading and narrating a manual is much easier, is much more clear, way more precise, and has a definite ending in which the reader, in this case the man, knows. The purpose of a manual is to provide a how-to on building something, learning something, and overall showing the steps to complete something. You see, with the manual, the reader, the man, already knows what's going to happen from point A to point Z. I mean, shoot, he might not even need a manual. He might just do the process on his own if he already know how to, because it's predictable. And that is what a manual represents, being predictable, familiarity. So let me ask you, what would you rather be? A book or a manual? Another related question I could ask you is, of those two, which one do you think will hold a person's attention and desire for a lengthy amount of time? Most of you, if not all, will say a book. The reason for that is because mysteriousness and the unknown will always garner more attention and curiosity than what's predictable and familiar. So why would a man be curious about something he's already accustomed to? Why would a man be curious about something that he's already seen before or is predictable? The secret to keeping a good man's attention and desire is to keep him curious about you, to keep him wondering about your abilities and capabilities, your hidden interests, etc. Another angle on this book / manual points is that a book represents longevity, while a manual represents quickness. With books, you have to invest money and, more importantly, time to read it. You have to sit down, you have to turn page by page by page. And even if you listen to an audible, you have to listen to every single word so that you don't miss out on anything. With manuals, you never really buy them, and they don't take much time to read. And manuals are usually packaged with something else that has more value than it. So it's almost like a cheap sidekick. It's not the main focus. But don't get me wrong, the manual is still very important, but it is a quick read and not guaranteed to be needed, since most people don't even read the manual. So, once again, do you want to be a book or a manual? There's a saying that goes, slow and steady wins the race. But in this case, I'm changing the saying to slow and steady wins the marathon. Be a book, not a manual. The second perspective I want you to have in keeping a good man's attention is knowing and understanding the difference between wanting a man and needing a man. Because there is a huge difference between the two. There is an even bigger difference between acting like you want a man and acting like you need a man. So on one side of the coin is the want. When you want something or someone, the desire is there for that thing or that someone, but it is not a necessity. Like the desire for snacks or a brand new car. Like when you want something, you'll be okay if you get it or not. On the other side of the coin is to need. You absolutely require this thing or someone, and you will absolutely do anything to get it. Like water, food, and shelter, you give the perception that you need this thing or this someone to exist. So when it comes to how solid men think, upstanding men think, in their mentality, there's a difference between a woman acting like she wants him and acting like she needs him. You see, this type of man appreciates a woman who gives off the sense that she has her own things going on and that she does not necessarily need him, that he can collaborate with her, partner with her in a relationship, bring assets to her table as she brings assets to his. But he does not want to feel that she needs him for what he provides or what he brings to the table without reciprocation, because that will disintegrate his desire for you. But this is only pointed to an elevated type of man, because deceiving and controlling men have no issue with the woman who gives off the perception that she needs him, because that's what he wants, to build and mold you in his vision. But good men do not think like that, because we actually want to build with our partner in bond, hand in hand, in love, admiration, and respect. And that is where the saying behind every good man is a good woman. We believe it is better together. You see, that sacred, exclusive partnership is what drives our attention, what drives our desire, our interest, our inquisitiveness for you. On the inside of his head, he's like, man, she is amazing. And you know what? Together we are doing amazing things. I wonder what else we can accomplish. Shoot, I wonder what else she can accomplish. That is the thought process of a man who is curious and is building desire for you. That will not be the case if you feel like he is required to do things because of the lack of balance. In fact, it's possible to feel needed and not wanted at the same time. That absence of feeling wanted will kill any man's desire for you. My third perspective on keeping and growing a good man's desire for you, I'm gonna say it like this. A good magician never shows all of their tricks in the first show. I mean, like, have you ever wondered how all-time great magicians like Harry Houdini and Siegfried and Roy and David Copperfield stand the test of time and having sold-out shows every year, year after year, decade after decade? How are they still relevant after all this time? How haven't they run out of ideas? Well, this is how. They have mastered the art of spreading. No, I'm not talking about spreading like spreading chunky peanut butter on cheap bread, which is a very difficult task, I must admit. They have mastered the art of spreading out their talents, skills, capabilities, and abilities. They have learned so many magic tricks after years of studying and learning and practicing, to the point where they're just filled to the cap of magic knowledge. So, do you think it would be smart for them to tell and showcase all of those talents and tricks in one show? A few shows? Or even a year of shows? No way. Because they know so much, they know it is wise, longevity-wise, to slowly share and spread their knowledge over a lengthy span of time. Doing this process will increase their longevity tremendously. And also, doing this inspires and grows desire over time. You see, these magicians, these all-time great magicians, did this process to grow the audience and fans' desire and curiosity, because now they are eager to find out what's next. So what Sealz the Man is trying to tell you ladies is, y'all all gotta become magicians. Just kidding. But there are things you should borrow from these high longevity magicians to keep and grow the desire of a good man. And that is the ability to sparsely show what you got. Like, I get it. I know and I understand it's a very exciting time to meet a good guy. When you find and click with a great man and you just want to show him all the things you know and are interested in, all the nice things you possess, all the cool things you know and like. And like I said, I understand it's a natural reaction. But what I want you to do is stop and breathe for a minute and create a steady pace for this. Because if you want to keep and build and grow his desire in you, I suggest you pace yourself. As I was doing this video, I just had a random thought in my head as I'm talking about this. Like, I can't imagine I'm in a relationship with a queen and we've been together for 5 years or something like that. And we go to an Italian restaurant, you know, to get some good food, because Italian is my favorite food. And we sit down and the waiter comes and he asks us what we want, and you know, I tell him what I want and she tells him what she wants. But the waiter doesn't understand her and she starts to talk French. Like, my woman starts to talk French to the waiter. And I just can't imagine not knowing that my loved one, the woman of my life, the one I thought I knew through and throughout, speaks French, is at least bilingual. Like, I can't imagine how I would feel. I wouldn't feel betrayed or anything. You know, I wouldn't feel mad. I would feel amazed that there is something about this woman that I don't even know. Like, my lady is more of a genius than I thought. Like, I would be in absolute awe. And then I would think, if I didn't know this, what else don't I know about her? My desire is now going up exponentially for her. What a feeling that is. So also, what I'm not telling you to do is withhold important information like that or to lie to him, because I also believe the absence of clarity is a lie as well, but that's a whole other topic. But what I do highly suggest is that you space out, that you learn how to spread your talents, your skills, your weird and funny interests, all the things that you know will pique his interest. In fact, another secret I'm gonna tell you ladies is try learning something new. You can never be too old, no matter what age you are, to learn something new and then just throw it in his face like, and walk away. After he picks his jaw up and reconnects it to his skull, that's another way his desire is going to for you. And these suggestions from Sealz the Man can go from any relationship, ranging from you just met a great guy to you've been married to a great guy for 60 years. There is no time restriction on these suggestions, because desire, like love, never dies. Thank you for rocking out with your boy. Virtual hug. I appreciate y'all, all y'all, for supporting me, subscribing, and just rocking out with me. I will never get used to this feeling. Thank you so much. And until next time, peace and blessings. Goodbye.